Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 25th of May. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the CFS and Ensembles. Regular traffic of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. And that gets us into the first half of June. I should get time for that for you in a moment. Just say that first video today was our 6 7 UK weather forecast. And we've also released a second installment of the spring bank holiday updates as well, the next bank holiday weekend. So check out those two bits if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on all of David's content. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And we've got a new range of GavsWeatherVids merch as well. These are the GavsWeatherVids t-shirts, everybody, in white, black, and also blue. So, you know, these are retailing for £14, £12.50 for t-shirt, £1.50 postage and packaging. We're taking orders right now. They're coming in sizes small, medium, large, extra large, whatnot, and they even have their own Made in the Towers label. So, if you would like a GavsWeatherVids t-shirt, little bit of merch, then all you need to do is email me at GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com, telling me what colour and also size t-shirt you would like, and you will be able to pay for that a little bit later on through the GavsWeatherVids PayPal, but initially just taking the orders. So, again, new range of merch. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting involved in the GavsWeatherVids merch. Is helping for us to be able to do this, bring you all of this content. You know, it's another revenue stream along with the advertisement, channel membership, etc, etc, etc. So, if you'd like a t-shirt, as I say, all you need to do, email GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com. Let me know what colour and size you would like, and then a little bit later on, I'll give you the link to our PayPal account, and that's how you will be able to pay for your t-shirt. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting involved in all of this. It's amazing, it's incredible, so thank you so much, and thank you to James98, our designer of the GavsWeatherVids merch as well. Thank you so much, James. Okay, let's start off centering temperature then. The CT is currently standing at 14.1. That is 3 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 14th of May. So the first half month going to come out around 3 degrees above average. We should wait and see where we go for the second half of the month. Means for GFS upper air temperature precipitation ensembles, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Blackburn. And we're starting off quite significantly above average at the moment. I'm going to stay that way for the next week or so. We will see the upper air temperature coming down and reverting back closer to average, though, when we get through to around the 23rd to 25th of May. We are hovering close to average, albeit there's a lot of scatter within that. So, of course, we've got warmer ensemble members just here. We've got cooler ensemble members down there. So, quite how seriously we take that reduction in the upper air temperature on top of being average. I'm not sure, but it does look as though we might revert closer to normal through the last week of the month. But that said, like the green line, that's the GFS midnight operational run. That's really quite warm, maybe even quite hot at times through the last week of May. So I think this period here, anywhere about 25th of May onwards, we probably have to leave that alone a little bit for now. What we can say is the next week, anyway, it's going to be quite warm, and then probably a bit of cool down and wet around the 21st, 22nd of May. Precipitation-wise, so there is more showery bursts to come over the next few days. Probably going to dry out through the early part of next week, though. Over the weekend, through the early part of next week. And then heading into the last week of May, could turn more unsettled again. But of course, that's in this period here, where we have all of the scatter and uncertainty. So, sorry everybody, temperature anomalies from 15th to 23rd of May, coming out a little bit above average. Not particularly excessive, but still on the slightly milder than average side. Precipitation anomalies from 15th to 23rd of May, driving average in the north, nearer normal further south. The latest wind plan that from earthnullschool.net shows that we've got an area of low sitting just to the southwest of the country, and that will remain close to us over the next few days as well. Right, so let's start going through chart data. It's our latest UK Met Euro run. Looking midnight on Saturday. Trough of low pressure over and to the east of the coast, looking showery for south, probably drier further north. That's the basic setup into the beginning of next week as a little transient ridge starts building up from the southwest. And then as we get towards the middle of next week, we've got low pressure out to the northwest, but high pressure ridging up into the southwest. Could keep the south mostly dry and quite warm north, perhaps a little bit more unsettled there. Icon again rather showering with that trough on Saturday. A ridge then starts to build through the beginning of next week, should settle things down, kill off most showers, turn things drier. Perhaps back to showery conditions again by the middle of next week. A ridge out to the west and another trough sitting to the east. So Icon probably goes back to showery conditions during the middle phase of next week. GFS Midnight Run, no KMA update again today. GFS Midnight Run, once more, showing that trough of low pressure over the country through Saturday, and then to the south on Sunday, a little bit of a ridge building through Monday, Tuesday. Could bring a drier start to next week. But a bit of a pincer movements going on by middle of next week. An area of low pressure is developing through Germany and France. At the same time, got low pressure in the Atlantic as well. We have a ridge out to the west, but start to get this low over France below countries pushing towards. That could bring some quite heavy rain into the southeast and a bit of northeast wind, but eventually we get rid of that. And as we go to the bank holiday weekend, this is the run we use for our second bank holiday update, by the way. No spoiler alert. We start to see high pressure taking over to the northeast, and this actually brings us a relatively dry-ish, not completely dry, but a relatively dry-ish and also pretty warm bank holiday weekend. Dare I say, maybe even very warm, maybe like mid-20s Celsius type temperatures. Doesn't take long before low pressure starts pushing up from the south. We're a long way out now, of course, 28th of May, but just beyond the bank holiday, low pressure begins pushing up from the south. That brings heavy, thundery rain with it, and then we have a trough of low pressure sitting very close to the country as we get towards month's end. So by the very end of May, you're back to quite unsettled conditions. GFS V2, all much of much this Saturday and Sunday. By Monday, we've got a ridge building down from the north, bringing mostly dry weather in with it, and we keep it mainly dry from the north anyway, through to the middle part of next week. Probably still rather showery bow to the south due to the proximity of these little areas of low pressure over on the continent. Into the bank holiday weekend, well, we're looking rather slack, so probably not quite as dry and warm for the bank holiday weekend with GFS V2 as the operational run is. That said, I don't think it's too bad, and there will be quite a bit of dry weather in with that. By the end of the GFS V2 run, we're reverting back to what looks like much more of an unsettled pattern with low pressure beginning to move in from the Atlantic again as we get to month's end. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure to show everyone for dear Matt. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much everybody for doing that. We need to put on around 30 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.2k, so if you could give us a sub, that would be awesome and incredible, and we will thank you so much for doing that. GM again with slack gradients and a trough of low to our east on Saturday. Into Sunday and Monday, we get a bit of a ridge building down from the north into the early part of next week. That should settle things down, turn things drier, and eventually back develops into quite a nice area of high pressure. So as we go through next week, the weather looking increasingly dry and warm, but maybe even very warm with the GM by day 10. That's Saturday the 25th of May. We are putting like a southeasterly wind there, courtesy of this area of high pressure to our northeast. Look at the upper air temperatures, they're looking very warm. Maybe even into a little hint there of it turning hot. That's the first time I've used the H word, or is it H? H word. That's probably the first time I've used the hot word anyway, for this, yeah, you know, so maybe the GM hints at things getting quite hot by day 10, but of course that's a long way out. And then we've got the ECM looking like that, with lower pressure to the south and the east on Saturday. High pressure ridging down from the north into the beginning of next week should settle things down, turn things dry, but still perhaps a little bit showering. And then as we get towards the bank holiday weekend, though, the ECM actually turns unsettled. So day 9-10, we bring this area of low pressure in off the Atlantic, and that will bring an unsettled and relatively coolish start to the bank holiday weekend as well. So look at the difference between the GEM at day 10 and the ECM at day 10. They couldn't be more different, really, could they? It's just again highlighting the uncertainty. You always get a lot of uncertainty at this time of year due to the slack nature of the gradients and whatnot. Now, let's just wait and see where things go. But I think we might have quite a nice bank holiday weekend coming up. We'll see. Right, let's have a look at the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run then from Meteo.com. We've got some showers in the east today, but also quite a bit of dry weather around. Tonight and tomorrow bring some quite wet weather in from the east across England and Wales, maybe some heavy thundery downpours. And then into the second half of the week, we're looking at like showery conditions before things turn drier to the start of next week. Just a few showers scattered about though. And then, of course, by day 9-10, we start to more unsettled with that low in the Atlantic, and that begins to bring some wet weather in from the Atlantic by days 9 and 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. It gets us to the 25th of May from the Icelandic Met Office. 19 members of the ECM ensembles include the control and the operation run with this low up to the north, but also a ridge down to the south. So as we know from the operation run, it does eventually start turning more unsettled by about day 10. We've got 10 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure ridging up to the southwest. That should bring quite a dry weather in with it. 9 with deeper low to the north. That's going to be rather cool and showery. We have got 8 with a ridge just over to the east country, really. And then we've got 5 with a mid-Atlantic ridge and some sort of trough in the North Sea. So that would be quite cool and showery as well. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It gets us to the 30th of May, more or less a month saying 21 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the east, high pressure is out to the west, and so that could be rather cool and showery. We've got 15 with high pressure ridging from Northern Europe into the Atlantic. That should be made dry and quite warm. And then we've got another 15 high pressure just out to the west, winds in from the northwest. That could be a little bit on the, well, it would be dry, but it could be a little bit on the cooler side. Range of options there. It's all up for grabs, really, I think, this last week of May, including, of course, the bank holiday. Finally, CFS V2 beats a 500 millibar height anomalies, broken down into weekly periods. The first week period takes us from 15th to 23rd, 21st of May. But next week has high pressure just to our east, low pressure to south, winds coming in from an easterly direction, most unsettled, showery conditions in the south, driest in the north. Week 2 is the 22nd, 28th of May. High pressure remains to the north, mostly dry and quite warm. Week 3 will be the 29th of May to 4th of June. High pressure then begins to go to retrograde, pulling out into the Atlantic, trough low digging into Northern Europe, winds going in to more of a northwesterly, still mostly dry, but probably a bit on the cool side. And then finally, week 4 looks a little bit strange. It's the 5th to the 11th of June. Some sort of blocking around Greenland, and there's some low pressure in the Atlantic. I expect in reality there'll be quite a bit of low pressure across northern and also western parts of Europe, and probably more unsettled and cooler for the early part of June. But again, as it's 4 weeks away, it's not worth worrying about. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, subscribe. Make sure you everyone forward doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We need to put on around 30 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.2k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be incredible. And make sure you check out our t-shirts we sign off with. If you like one of those, then email me at GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com specifying what size and colour you would like, and we will place your order for you, and then when it's time to send those out, we will, you'll be able to pay for those through the GavsWeatherVids PayPal, and we'll send you a link for that a little bit later on. Right, so just to tell you what's happening on the channel tomorrow. We have 6 AM UK weather forecast, European outlook, and 10 to 14 day. Please keep checking back to the channel for more. For this one though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.